Hey, Sal.
Hank, what's going on? We haven't worked a case in years.
I just bought my car at Carvana, and it was so easy. Too easy.
Think something's up?
You tell me. They got thousands of options. Found a great car at a great price. And it got delivered the next day.
It sounds like Carvana just makes it easy to buy your car, Hank.
Yeah, you're right. Case closed.
Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Carly, it's episode 2. This was a spicy one. We had budget drama at the team shop, and we had Sherry getting quite feisty with Brandon. But before we jump into all of that, let's talk the Carolina Reapers. If you were eating this meal, where in the progression do you think you would have hit your limits?
That's a good question, Kendra. I needed to look up the Scoville units of some peppers after the episode aired last night, because I was like, oh, okay, I wonder, like, where am I on this? And I usually buy Serranos, which are still in the tens of thousands of Scoville, so way below where they're at. So I'm like, would I have tapped out at like course 3? I don't know. I feel like I need to start buying habaneros to like build up my tolerance, but I don't know. Maybe I could do it okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, I'm with you. Like jalapenos are sort of my spicy level, though I do really appreciate like spicy food when you get the flavor, but not as much of the heat. But I will sort of torture myself and eat something spicy if it is very tasty. Like I love shrimp biryani, and it's so spicy, and I can usually eat it in like small quantities at a time, but I love it so much. But jalapenos is really like the top of my limit, which is very sad. So I don't think I would have made it very far, but the food looks so good that I definitely would have tried to push past that.
Well, we're very excited to have you all back for our second episode of Track Your Knives. This is the second weekly podcast from Pack Your Knives. The typical recap will always be with Tom and Sarah. And our podcast, Track Your Knives, is where we are getting into the details of basically power rankings, and then we'll soon be getting into fantasy leagues. And as a reminder, power rankings are what we as a community think are the chefs that are the most likely to be winning elimination challenges and the most likely to go home. And so it's our collective idea of where these chefs are. Even though it's a collective and we're looking at a community level, there's also a prize for the winner. And as a reminder, the winner, if you make it out to Kentucky, Sarah at Fright House will provide you a chef-curated meal. So we're really happy to have all of you here. And again, I'm Carly.
And I'm Kendra.
And I think we're gonna get right in.
So this episode, any favorite moments that stuck out before we jump into the power rankings?
I thought it was cute that Jennifer and Justin chose the same gelato, sort of like, mind meld. But also part of me wonders, May took the tray and started on the right and moved to the left. And so maybe they had gelatos that weren't quite as the favorite, the most interesting, the best to cook with. And so maybe because they were further along on the side, maybe they didn't get quite the best choice.
Yeah, I agree. And it was very cute that they cooked basically the same meal as well. So it shows that they've been cooking together for a really long time.
Yeah.
I also loved the pepper tasting montage where as they tasted more, they started getting a little delusional and hallucinating. I thought that was just like a funny way to do that part of the episode. And then also I thought the edit was really good. The red team seemed like a hot mess in the shop and trying to figure out who was going over budget, under budget. And I was like, okay, this is the disaster group. And then they seemed like that as they were doing their cook as well. And the green team was like so cohesive and keeping it all together. And I'm like, okay, the red team is definitely going to win this because they're getting the chaos edit. And it seems like the chaos edit always wins. And then like, as it progressed, it was like, oh, this actually looks like it's maybe going downhill here at the end. So I thought they also just did a really good job with the edit, kind of keeping you on your toes for who is going to actually win the episode.
Yeah. And it was just a cute, like that, going back to the montage, like that was just really cute, like watching Justin and then they did like a kaleidoscope edit around him. I thought was great. I'm a little sad. We didn't really see anybody cry. I was sort of thinking we would see some tears.
Lots of sweating, but no tears.
Lots of sweating, tears from your pores, as no one says.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. And the commentary was like top notch when the owner of Pucker Butt Farms mentioned that if it doesn't pucker your butt, it's not Pucker Farms or Pucker Butt Farms. And Tom looked very uncomfortable by that. So it was just like A+ commentary this episode too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fantasy league names. So we had talked about that in our last episode that we wanted to kind of highlight our favorite fantasy league names. So any that sort of stuck out to you, I think we saw lots of mentions of like scallops at risotto. There was some love for Padma, also lots of love for Tom's hats and fedoras.
Which I don't think we've seen. I don't think he's worn a hat yet.
Yeah.
I guess we'll need to wait for more outdoor challenges. Yeah, I think the fantasy league names have been great. There's also a lot of versions of We Chef and Yes Chef. It's really cool. There are 86 leagues and 282 teams within them. So there's a lot of teams to choose from. I really liked You Dim Sum, You Lose Some. And there's also someone who's on one of the Pack Your Knives teams, and their team name is Left My Heart with Massimo. Like, shout out to him. He left such a strong impression on me too last season. Like when he broke a cutting board in episode 1, like that has stuck with me a year later. Love Massimo.
Yes.
So those are some of my favorites.
Love it. Yeah. Yeah. I love the play on words. There was Whisk Takers, which was a fun one. And Meeson first place instead of Meeson place was great. But I mentioned last time, I love when they use like people's names in the name of their league. And so there was only one that actually had a current season contestant's name in there. So that sort of hit the top of my list, and it was I Just Tootlet. So I'm a child, and that makes me laugh.
I mean, the episode was called Pucker Butt. Like, we're allowed to laugh. Here we are.
Tootlet. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few others, as Traders fans, appreciated that Kristen is the ultimate faithful. So that was
ultimate faithful.
A lovely one.
For those of you who don't know, Kendra and I both really like other competition strategy shows.
Yes.
Kristen is the ultimate faithful.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep. Forever. But yeah, I think those are some of our favorites. Well, let's jump into the power rankings. How did your week go this week?
honestly not great. I had Jassy pretty close to the top, like most likely to win, and Rhoda sort of in the middle, but near the top. And so I just really did not get a lot of points. Yeah. The fact that I had Jassy above Rhoda also, so it just really canceled out some points.
Yeah. I think that Jassy hit a lot of people pretty hard. So I don't think that's surprising. I had Rhoda pretty high. I had her in 4. She's so good. And so I wanted to keep her towards the top just in case. And then Jassy I had at 8, so a little bit lower. I thought his food looked really amazing, but last episode he made a dish that was a really good dish, but didn't highlight the sweet potatoes. And so I was kind of afraid that maybe he wasn't someone that was going to mold to the elimination challenges as much. And so I kind of moved him a little bit down, even though I thought highly of him sort of the first episode. So 8, I had him at 8, so not great, but a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that was a really astute observation, Kendra, because that idea of gameplay and playing to the elimination challenge is what ultimately sent him home this time. And that instinct of who is going to play to the challenge and who isn't, I think is part of this show. And that's still why one of the reasons I love Lawrence. I think that he did his research. And yeah, so that definitely stuck with me too. So with the power rankings also came the people having to choose who is their winner for their season.
Yep.
And now that all those winners are locked, how did the percentages break out? Who were the people who a lot of the players wanted to, who chose as their winner?
Yeah. So it played out kind of how I think we imagined it would. So Lawrence was actually at the very top, which surprised me that it wasn't Rhoda, just given her performance in that first episode, but she's a pretty close second. So Lawrence has 32 total votes, which is about 17.5% of the total. And then Rhoda's at 16% with 29 votes. And then closely followed by Anthony, Dwayne, and Oscar, who have 25 votes each. And then it kind of falls off from there. Down at the very bottom, you have Jennifer with 2 votes, and then Justin and Seeger each have 1 vote. So kind of, I think, starting to play out how we're seeing it, but Saul maybe was a little surprised Lawrence hasn't been as high on some of the power ranking numbers. And so it was interesting to see him as a lot of people's top pick, which I think, to your point, he seems to get the game. And so I think we'll start to see him really shine. And we'll talk more about him later in the episode here. But I mean, he probably would have won had the red team won. So I think he's a good pick.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, any of these chefs are really phenomenal. It's interesting, and I don't know if you're experiencing this too, but this is my first time doing power rankings. I know you have done fantasy leagues before, but I've never done power rankings. For those of you who know my stuff on packyourknives.com, I do a lot of scoring and being able to compare chefs across the season. But there's something to power rankings being done before the episode where I feel like I'm engaging in a different way. It's really different. And then there's this element of gameplay too, where I see that a lot of people are saying Lawrence and Rhoda and Dwayne and Oscar. And I'm like, well, does that mean that I should go for Sherry? Should I be picking from the middle? How does this, and what am I not seeing? Am I doing group think? And it's just been a really, so far, I mean, it's only two weeks in, but it's been a different viewing experience, I'd say.
Yeah, that's a really interesting take on it. I hadn't thought about is getting out of the group think and taking a risk, because really the only way, once you're in a certain position and later in the season, that you can make that jump is if you pick someone to win that no one else picked and they end up winning. That's really how you're going to get bumped versus if you stay middle of the road and kind of where everyone else is at, everyone's getting the same sort of level of points. So that's a really interesting way to think about this. I hadn't been thinking about how to maximize my points against everyone else's points.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that idea.
Competition. What can I say?
Well, getting into the competition. So how did everyone in the power rankings do with predicting who was going to win and then who were going to be the eliminated chef this episode?
Yeah, so we had a lot more people do power rankings this week, almost 140, about half of which were new the first time. So they hadn't done episode 1. So really happy that all of you joined. 21 people got Rhoda correct as the winner, which I love because as we talked about last week, now Rhoda is only the 3rd chef ever to win both the first and the second elimination challenge. And that is incredibly exciting. And 5 people correctly put Jossie as being eliminated. And so that was Top Scallop, again, scallops, Maturin, James S., Degs SF, and AD Designs. The people who got Rhoda correct were Victoria, Twist Street, Then Shell, Serafina, Melmo Eats, Kendall H, Keely, KBK, Julie B, Josh in Japan, Jennifer, Jenna, Hassan Chop, Gazzetto 11, M Dash, Dustin R, Chefanad, Chantel B, Kates, A Tilly, and Alex PW. So they did good. They did good. They got all of those points. And we didn't anticipate this, Kendra, but there wasn't a correct answer to the bonus question. No one name dropped anybody.
No, and that's so surprising. I feel like you get at least 1 per episode. So we will work on better bonus questions so that people could actually earn them. And so be on the lookout for that in future weeks. We'll try to base them on the upcoming episode. I did want to give a shout out to Michelle P., who was in 2nd place last week and moved up into 1st. And then just sadly, shout out to Spence K., who went from 1st to 30th. So not a great episode for Spence K. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I have to say I am hella impressed with Michelle P. Michelle P. in both last episode and this episode had the eliminated chef and the winning chef, Rhoda, in their bottom 3 and top 3 respectively. And so that's how they got so many points. No one has had a perfect prediction where they got both the eliminated and the winning chef. But this episode, there were 9 people who did have both Rhoda as the most likely to win. And let's see, 9 people. Yeah. And Jossie as the most likely to be eliminated. So those 9, in the bottom and top 3, not as most likely. Sorry. I was like, wait, but I just said there wasn't a perfect prediction. Yeah. So in the bottom and top 3, so they got really close. Along with Michelle P., Cosmic Cave Soup also had that where the eliminated and winning chefs were in their top and bottom 3.
Nice.
So some people are really, getting into it and really feeling how it's all going to play out. Yeah.
Need to get some of that brain power going so I can get myself back up there. So we know Rhoda was 21 people got Rhoda correct. Who else was toward the top and who everyone was expecting to win this episode?
Yeah, so Anthony remained at the top of the power rankings, and 43 people chose him as most likely to win. So he's still, from the community's perspective, seen as a front runner. Rhoda, Dwen, and Brandon are just a little bit behind, but are all really tightly together. So I think people are really seeing them as a front runner. They all had, so Rhoda, Dwen, and Brandon had between 16 and 21 people who chose them as most likely to win. So they have a lot of people backing them. And I think that even though we have those folks who are doing, have a lot of people choosing them as most likely to win, Lawrence, Jonathan, and Oscar are honestly I think they seem really solid. And Lawrence and Jonathan join Rhoda and Anthony in that this time no one chose any of them to be eliminated. So I think there's more likely a top 6 than there is truly a top 3.
Yeah. I agree. And I think it was, we sort of mentioned it earlier, but interesting that Lawrence is a big, is at the top of the list for who people are picking for their winner, but still isn't really rising to the top yet in these rankings, which it shows again this week. But yeah, I think he had a really solid week. And I think next week we probably see him higher. We probably see Oscar higher. I think he had a really strong week. And I just love his commentary. I could listen to him the entire time. We don't need anyone else. Just let him cook. But yeah, he was quite entertaining this week. But yeah, I think we've got a really solid top group now that it'll be interesting to see how the season plays out with them.
Yeah, I agree.
Refreshing wild cherry cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
This Easter, skip the ordinary and whip up something golden with melty, creamy Velveeta cheese. From scalloped potatoes to rich mac and cheese, Velveeta turns every bite into a crowd-pleasing celebration, bringing the extra to the ordinary, transforming simple sides into lip-smacking, satisfying moments. So go on, make it melt, make it craveable, make it indulgent. Velveeta, respect the drip. Visit Velveeta.com/Easter for some recipe inspiration.
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney+.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
Gary the Snake. And your last name? The Snake.
Dream Team. And new habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home. Zootopia 2, now available on Disney+, rated PG. And right now you can get Disney Plus and Hulu for just $4.99 a month for 3 months with a special limited time offer. Ends March 24th. After 3 months, plan auto renews at $12.99 a month. Terms apply.
What do you think about Rhoda? Do you think she can get a 3-peat, or is that a really high hill to climb?
I mean, who's to say at this point? I need to look up what is the hot streaks of winning immunity. Because there are many people, maybe not many, but a decent number who have won 4 or whatever elimination challenges in a season. But to have a streak this early, I don't know. She definitely could. Who's to say not? Definitely not me.
Yeah, I know. And she is so confident. And I love that you can tell she understands how to approach the eliminations too. She was really leading her team, making sure everyone was tasting everything. And maybe they went a little too hot early on. But that might have been, I think Seeger snuck in some Carolina Reapers in his first round, which was an interesting play. But I do love just her confidence, and she is there to win. And I wouldn't put it past her to take another one next week.
Yeah, actually, that was another fantasy league name, or fantasy league team name was "I'm Not Here to Find Myself." So,
yep,
shout out Rhoda.
Love it. And then thinking about others, so had Red Team won, do you think it would have been Lawrence, Dwen, and Sherry maybe toward the top? I was going back through my notes of what they wrote. I mean, a lot of them got really good really good feedback. But with Sherry's, they mentioned it was like elegant, rich, had the right amount of heat. Dwen's was very good. It looked very good. And I don't even eat pork. So, but I thought she did awesome. And then I think Brandon got really good feedback too with his dish. And I would like that tuna tartare sounded amazing.
Yes. Yeah. I think that it's just interesting on these big teams because on any other type of challenge, maybe someone else would have won, but it's looking at that overall picture. And for the first 4 courses, I thought red team was going to win.
Yeah.
Right. And then just the spice level was not right. And, fish was undercooked. I just think team challenges are just such an interesting part of the Top Chef game.
Yeah, same. Yeah. And it makes it hard, especially in these, to kind of figure out where to go. And then it's like frustrating in fantasy leagues too, because when your chef had a great dish and they land in the losing team and you lose out on all those points, it's just like so disappointing. So I love the team challenges for the dynamics, but not for my fantasy leagues for sure.
Yes. And I was creeping on your fantasy league and mine, which is my work one. And because we both have 2 chefs, you have Brittany and
Anthony.
That's what I thought. Okay. And then I have Lawrence and Jassy. And so from here on out, like, you're just always going to be beating me, but you're also still beating me in power rankings. So, at least you have that going for you, Kendra.
Yeah, that's fair. But I don't know. Lawrence is probably about to sweep up some points. So we'll see.
I hope so.
So who ended up outperforming expectations the most? I have some guesses, but who are we seeing who sort of people ranked lower, but they actually did pretty well this episode?
Jennifer. Right. Like, I think that she's been near the bottom and has been, last episode too. Although, being ranked 10th, the rank of the average rank was 10th. And so people aren't as sure of her, but I thought she had a really great episode. And in terms of fantasy league points, right, we're talking about Lawrence and people choosing him as their overall season winner pick and the power rankings. But Lawrence and Jennifer, in terms of fantasy league points, got the same number of points this episode, right? And so, like, I want to give Jennifer those props too, because she had a great episode.
Yeah. I love just seeing her like confidence grow and her mentioning like she's not doing as much cooking now that she's like running the restaurant. And so it was just really nice to see her like do really well this episode. I was rooting for her and Justin being like, just like, yay, when she got the top spot. I just thought it was so cute. So it was really great to see her have a good episode. What about any others?
Yeah. Seeger has been near the bottom, and at this point, I'm not sure why anymore, except that people seem to really be gravitating towards the chefs that we've already talked about. He's really not been doing that poorly, but 30 people chose him as most likely to be eliminated.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like, while his quick fire dish didn't look super good to me, like the sauce, but I don't think he's been doing that poorly. So I'm just sort of curious where Justin goes, or excuse me, not Justin, Seeger goes from here.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, he kind of just feels like he's there. Like, I think there's so many big personalities this season that he's not quite like standing out as much. So that might be part of it. And then, the quick fire, I think that's going to play a factor this week too. But other than that, I mean, it looks like his food's pretty good. He got good feedback on the oyster, except for throwing in those darn Carolina Reapers at the end. But they said it was delicious and good. So I think it'll be interesting to see how he does kind of competing with these other chefs that are maybe a little bit more bold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what about where folks were rating, like who was most likely to be eliminated?
Yeah. So it is pretty similar to last week with Justin, Nana, and Seeger like remaining at the bottom of the power rankings. More than a third of people put Nana as most likely to be eliminated. And I mean, she has struggled in elimination challenges. So I think, that's probably warranted. But I think that like she's been able to, there's been something that has kept her in. And I think her flavors, like her and Anthony's round and just their excitement about their food was just great. Like, I think that for me translates through the screen of like how much they care. And then sort of similarly, then there's this gap where for Justin, Seeger, and then Brittany as well, like between 16 and 20 some people chose them as most likely to be eliminated. It's interesting because Brittany last episode was pretty high up in the power rankings and then this time dropped down. And she's the chef right now that has the biggest standard deviation. That is like people are like ranking her near the top and other people are ranking her near the bottom, and they're not like all clustered around, say, fifth or something. And so I don't know if polarizing is the right word, but people are not collectively decided about her. And so I think that just sort of keeping that in mind, that like for some people, like she's their go-to, and like, and honestly, right, like hometown chef, like hell yeah.
I think that's a big piece of it. Yeah. I just feel bad for her. I know she had a rough quick fire, and in the elimination challenge, they said it was good, but kind of boring. And I was like, oh man, that's the dish one of the dishes I would have wanted to eat the most because I love corn and shrimp. And so was bummed to see that. But hopefully, I think as the hometown chef, she can maybe lose some of those nerves and bring it back. And then, Nana, I was just like screaming at the TV. I'm like, don't sous vide those fish. You just said you haven't done this. Like, don't do things you haven't done in years.
Well, and Brandon for his quick fire also did sous vide and then also was like, oh, this isn't working. I got to put it in the pan. So I don't know what's up with the sous vide. I used to have one, by the way.
We have one.
And I liked it. And then I got food poisoning once. And when I moved, I didn't bring it with me.
Okay, that was smart.
But that's a user error thing.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But I am curious if she'll pull sort of a Dawn, a Dawn move this season where like her food is clearly very tasty. Like there's a reason that they are continuing to move her on despite like the challenges she's having with timing and getting the food ready for the plates. Like her quick fire, they really liked. And so it'll be interesting if like she's going to continue to have these issues with plating, but the food's just so good that they like can't send her home. I hope she also figures out the timing thing, but she's another one where I just like love her commentary. Like I love the back and forth with Anthony, and like I just think she's good TV. And so I'd love to see her like just stay on there for just like how she interacts with the others and like to see what she cooks, because it's clearly like good food. So we'll see how it goes. And then poor Justin, I felt him sitting at the end of the line at Whole Foods on his cart, just being so passive. Like that would have been me, where it's like, I don't want to deal with this drama. Whatever sacrifice I have to make so that we don't like get in, like there's no conflict, like I'm doing that. So I just felt like he like didn't advocate for himself enough. And so he ended up with like chicken wings that just like didn't quite work for the dish he was making. And then he had to pivot how he cooked it. And so I felt like very bad for him. That was, I was like, oh, I just see myself in you so much right now.
Yeah. I mean, I can either be the person who's, gathering and coordinating and like making sure the numbers, whatever, of course, that like very much make, but also if someone else is going to do it, I am not going to fight them.
Yeah.
Because I'm ultimately going to back down anyway. So like, why not just let them? And so I would be a little bit further towards the cash register than Justin, with like trying to poke my head. But yeah, the shopping component of a team challenge is rough.
Yeah. Yeah. And that did not go well. But I mean, at the end of the day, they just about won. So I guess you can't fault it too much.
Yeah.
And I guess let's talk poor Jossie before we move on. Doesn't like spice, takes the spiciest dish, and like vindaloo of all things. Like I love vindaloo. Speaking of like spicy food that's torture, like shrimp vindaloo with potatoes. It's so spicy, but it's like so tasty. And so I was bummed that he went that route and like couldn't get there with the spice.
Yeah. And at the end, having your teammates, say add more is tough because like Tom said, you can't build that flavor as well or as in depth. Part of me wants to like have someone cook me something where the chilies have been cooked with it and then the same thing, but it cooked after, because like I don't have that palate and I'm going to take them at their word. And like, that makes sense, right? It has longer to cook with the other things and meld and like, so it logically makes sense, but I want to be able to taste that. So either I need to do that for myself or I need to have someone to do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into next week. What are you thinking? What do you think about the preview? Lots of good stuff happening there.
Love Emerald. Love him. Seems like such a wonderful man, like a great mentor, very kind. Like when he's been on Top Chef, as well as other shows as well, just his kindness. And he's firm, but he's super kind. So I'm really excited to see him again. And I more associate him with New Orleans, but hop, skip, and a jump, and you're in the Carolinas, or maybe he doesn't live in New Orleans anymore. Not sure. But yeah, so I was really excited about that. And then it seems like this is the episode where Jennifer's arm is hurt.
Yes, there was a nice clear picture of a urgent care. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll impact how people are ranking? Like, do you think they would show us that happening if she does go home? Like, do you think it's red herring, or it's such a big part of the season they felt like they couldn't leave it out?
Yeah, I have no idea. Because they put it in the trailer too. I think that I have no idea how to read that edit. Because if she stays, then that's amazing, because it looks like she has, limited use of one arm. And if she leaves, then like that becomes a story about Justin and his cooking. And so I think either way, it becomes a story point.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree. Be interesting to find out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last
color.
Yes, the color.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting is all I've got.
I know. Well, I was like reading into the edit and she was like, Gail was like, there's no color here. And so I'm like, is someone that gets the yellow color going to be the one that has the no color edit? And then I noticed Anthony was one that had it, and he had mentioned like things going wrong with his dish. So I'm a little nervous for him going into this episode, but I know they tried to tease us with the previews. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Teasing us is right.
I know. How are you thinking about your rankings?
I mean, I think this time so far I'm like, and these are the people that everyone else seems to love too, but Anthony, Brandon, Dwayne, Rhoda, Lawrence, Jonathan, Oscar, and I understand I've named half the cast.
Right.
But I just love them.
I know.
And so I'm honestly probably going to just, for those of you who are not on YouTube, I'm doing things with my hands. Kind of choose within there. I'll put Rhoda near the top.
Yeah.
Unless the thing is, I'm an overthinker. I get too in my head. And so now I'm already like, maybe I'll put her near the bottom because what if? So I think that's part of why I need to kind of do it randomly, because otherwise I will spend way too long on it.
Right. Like between two people, who goes up or down, who knows?
Yeah.
I think I'm feeling like Oscar and Lawrence, like good vibes from them. So I think they're probably going to land towards the top for me. And then, Rhoda probably might keep her in top 3, 4. And then I'm debating if I keep my boy Anthony at the top, because I just want to try to will him to get first so I can then move him around, because I've had him first 2 weeks in a row. So we'll see what happens. But I just know like the 1 week I move him is the week he wins. And so I'm like, do I just keep it?
Right.
So we'll see. And then I don't know what to do with Nana. I think I might fit her middle bottom area, because I just have a feeling she's going to turn it around and just like crush the competition. So we'll see what happens. Well, last time we didn't talk too much about fantasy leagues, but I know we have a lot more data this time. So anything interesting as you were sort of pulling the numbers and looking at where people landed with the fantasy leagues?
Yeah. So first of all, just want to talk about Team Tom and Team Sarah. Team Sarah's killing it. And I know that Tom and Sarah talked about this on their podcast that dropped last night. So take a listen over there to sort of hear Tom lamenting. And, for him, it's really Jossie and then Nana who have hurt his scores. And then something else that I've been playing around with is standardizing people's scores, because people have different number of chefs on their teams. And so looking at for each team, what is the average chef score? And then comparing that. And so what I did was I looked at the Pack Your Knives teams, as well as your team or your league and my league. And then when that happens, there is one person, team Jacob's Judges Table from the league Pack Your Knives 7, who is beating Sarah with the standardized score.
Wow.
And then Bishop from your league, and then Diana and Nellie from my league are even beating them.
Wow.
And then I'm way near the bottom. And that's fine. And so I think there's just something fun about being able to compare across, particularly because it looks like some people are in multiple leagues. And so then you can sort of look how you're doing, look how each of the teams in all those leagues are doing. And just seeing if there's anything else. Yeah, anything about the fantasy leagues that is on your mind?
No, I think that's really interesting to look at it that way. And yeah, shout out to Bishop from our Kicking It with Kish league. He has Rhoda and Jennifer, so a really good episode for him this time around. And he had second pick in the league, and so took Rhoda with that pick, which I think was a good one.
Yeah, I was also looking at 4 teams that drafted each of the chefs. How are they doing? So for teams that drafted Jossie, I wanted to give a shout out to Team 1 on the league Top Chef Edgewood, because they've got the highest standardized score of all teams that have Jossie on it. And yeah, so just wanted to give them a shout out.
That's awesome. Data is so cool.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for doing all of this. And hopefully everyone is enjoying it. We'll probably, on that note, wrap up for today. So just a reminder, submit your rankings. They're due 5 minutes before the episode airs. I can't tell time. I'm in Central Time Zone, so it is 9:30 Eastern, not 8:30 Eastern. So you've got an extra hour next week to get your rankings in. And then our bonus question for this week is, which chef will appear in the most confessionals? And so make sure you answer that. But other than that, I think that's it. Anything else, Carly?
No, just, make sure to head on over to both find-topchef.com to do the power rankings, and then packyourknives.com for additional content. I'll be also doing some posts over there, and we're just really happy to have you here with us doing these crazy rankings.
Yes, absolutely. So thanks for hanging in there. And Carly, you want to sign us off?
Yeah. This has been Track Your Knives.